Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Honourable Minister for Industry, Trade, Tourism, Lands and Mineral Resources. Can the Minister explain the reason why tourism arrivals from Australia, our biggest market, has been weak? Thank you.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Minister for Industry, Trade, Tourism, Lands and Mineral Resources.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank the Honourable Gavoko for his question. Madam Speaker, 2016 has been quite a remarkable year for the Fijian tourism industry, with a record, as I had said earlier, record number of 792,320 odd visitor arrivals, which is a 5% increase, again as I had mentioned earlier, despite the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston. This in itself, Madam Speaker, is quite a noteworthy achievement for Fiji and the tourism industry. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member, based on only 1 year's small reduction of 1.9%, has inferred that the Australian market has been weak. Last year, Madam Speaker, Fiji still recorded a total of 360,370 visitor arrivals from Australia. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member fails again to note that visitor numbers from Australia have been growing steadily at an average rate of 3% from 2012 to 2015. And on average, the Australian market alone constitutes 49% of total visitor arrivals. Hence, Australia still remains our largest market for tourism. This is all despite the fact that me going on and on and on about the fact that Fiji is concerned about the yield that we get from the tourism industry. Madam Speaker, looking at the provisional figures for January this year, the Australian market has hit an all-time high of 30,128 Australian arrivals, which is again a 3.4% increase compared to the same period last year. The Honourable Member is someone in this House who should really just know this. Madam Speaker, compared to previous years, this was a record number for the month of January. And additionally, whilst our arrivals showed a decrease last year, Fiji has remained one of Australia's top 10 destinations for the year 2016. Madam Speaker, there's something else that maybe a little bit of research might have helped. Australians, Madam Speaker, have been urged to undertake or embrace domestic travel. Now the slogan from Tourism Australia, I think it says, "There's nothing like Australia," which is encouraging more Australians to travel domestically. And Tourism Australia maintains that by holidaying at home, they're actually keeping 900,000 people in their jobs in the tourism industry. So that's probably one of the other factors that may have affected us. Be that as it may, Madam Speaker, it is important to note that whilst Australia is a traditional source market and a matured market for Fiji, other emerging markets such as China and India and the rest of Asia have shown substantial increases with growth rates of 22%, 19% and 55% respectively. So Fiji hasn't really lost out in that sense, Madam Speaker. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member fails to note that the other traditional market, which is New Zealand, has been increasing at an average rate of 12% from 2012 to 2016. As pointed out by the Honourable Attorney General yesterday, Madam Speaker, the opposition tends to think that we should put all our eggs in one basket, or all of their marbles in one basket, to be honest, but I'm afraid some of them may have lost their marbles. Madam Speaker, this is not how we do business, and this is not how we sustainably grow an industry. We need to diversify our source markets and capture, like I said earlier, capture the high-yielding visitors from emerging markets, Madam Speaker, whilst consolidating our traditional markets. Madam Speaker, we need to stay one step ahead of the game. We really do. Madam Speaker, to ensure Fiji secures a consistent supply of visitors, a targeted marketing approach is undertaken. Tourism Fiji, the Ministry's main marketing arm, will undertake marketing activities for 2017, such as the revitalization of Fiji, where happiness finds you, the brand, and an emphasis on marketing the product and not the price. With respect to Australia, specific activities have been planned, and these are consumer marketing drives, and this includes exhibitions in flight centre shows in Sydney and Melbourne, where over 60,000 odd consumers attended, and tactical partnership with key wholesale companies. Niche marketing activities focused on weddings and dive and mice, and trade marketing activities focused on trade awareness and equipping the travel trade partners with the right tools to sell Fiji effectively, and focus on launching, as mentioned earlier also by the Honourable Attorney General, the new Adelaide route by leveraging our public relations and digital platforms, including social media, to build awareness and demand for the service. Madam Speaker, Tourism Fiji is also strengthening its in-house capacity in the area of content marketing, social media, digital marketing and communications by recruiting additional personnel for its regional office in Australia. We're not just sitting by and just watching it go by, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, simply said, the Fijian government will continue to maintain Fiji's traditional source market and is also expand our marketing efforts to provide other Australians the opportunity to visit. And this has been boosted by the new direct route via Adelaide by our national airline, Fiji Airways. And Madam Speaker, we have been saying over and over again, our focus is to increase tourism in a sustainable manner, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, not to exploit, most importantly, we must not exploit and damage our resources. Fiji is and will remain a destination that is focusing on quality rather than on quantity. Madam Speaker, the revenue earned from the tourism continues to grow as a higher rate than the numbers. For example, in 2015, the total visitor numbers increased by 5%, but revenue, which is what is most important, revenue, Madam Speaker, increased by 11%. Madam Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity to respond.
Thank you. Honourable Lamina Boka.
Madam Speaker, we are getting a little tired of all the hot air we're getting from the other side. In all that statement, all that was salient to the point was that domestic Australia is putting up a big challenge against overseas destinations like Fiji. That was all that he wanted to know. And what are you doing about challenging the drive by the Australian authorities to keep Australia's home? That's all we needed to hear. Why it's weak. All this hot air, we're getting a little tired of it, Madam Speaker. You know, we asked one simple question. There should have been a simple answer on what the reason why domestic Australia is putting a lot of money into promoting domestic Australia, hence the numbers traveling overseas. And a use of barometer is what is the share of Fiji's outbound market out of Australia. That's all we wanted to hear. No, not. We've all heard that before. I mean, it's since Monday we've been hearing about all these wrong statements. I think we should cut this down, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, there's no question, and I think it's just on a rampage about the fact that I've answered it properly. It was asked and very properly answered, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Sorry, you're given only one. Honourable Noikula.
So what measures is the government doing to counter Australia's effort to keep the tourists home?
That's all we want.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
That's all we want to hear.
When I was small, Madam Speaker, when I was small, if I refused to listen or didn't hear, they used to put some kind of oil in my ear. I just spelled it out, Madam Speaker. I just spelled out the specific activities planned for Australia, and I spoke in a very clear and soft tone so that they would listen. But let me say it again. Let me say it again. For the Honourable Nawakula's benefit this morning, consumer marketing drives. This includes exhibitions in flight centre shows in Sydney and Melbourne where over 60,000 consumers... Would you like me to continue? That's what you say. We have professionals who do this. Madam Speaker, the consumer marketing drives, if you want figures, Honourable Member, please let me finish. If you want figures, please write to me. I will always respond and give it to you. Thank you very much. Niche marketing drives, activities focused on weddings, dive, mice, trade marketing activities focused on trade awareness and equipping the travel trade partners with the right tools to sell Fiji effectively, Madam Speaker. And, as I said again, I'm going to say it again, focus on launching the new Adelaide route by leveraging our public relations and digital platforms. Madam Speaker, these are all activities that are being undertaken by Tourism Fiji. Thank you very much. I hope that actually was listened.
Thank you. Honourable Abdullah Barata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to ask the Honourable Minister that the new markets that you have marketed Fiji, what guarantee you have that they will make up the number of lost visitors from Australia? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
New markets.
Madam Speaker, I think it's rather unfair to be asking for guarantees. The only person in this world that can guarantee anything is God. And I say praise the Lord, Madam Speaker, because He's the only one that can guarantee it. I sincerely wish that Talatala was here today, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is no guarantee to anything in life, but I can tell you this much, Honourable Member, that Tourism Fiji, together with the Ministry, are working extremely hard, and Fiji Airways, to ensure that we get the best return possible out of Adelaide.